Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dana G and this is me. Today I'm going to be answering another question which I got off of my Facebook Messenger. This is from Danny and she asks, what do you do to start your creative process? Do you buy special pens, notebooks? Do you listen to music? So the first answer is to start my creative process. The first thing I do is I wake up, I kiss Tala, my Malamute. I start a pot of coffee and then I sit on the couch and I just let the coffee kick in. And then after I've been up for about 45 minutes to an hour, I go into my daughter's room and I wake her up and she slowly gets ready for school. And then I take her to school and I drop her off and I do all of my errands first thing in the morning. One, because I like people. I don't like shopping around people. And so if I can get to the store at 7 o'clock in the morning when no one else is there because everybody else is at their job, I will do that. I prefer doing that. And it also gives me time to think. So as I'm driving around, every now and again, like something will happen and I'll be like, I'll get an idea for what's going to happen next in my book. And so that's how I start my morning. Every day I take my daughter to school. If I'm sick, though, my husband takes her to school, which is really nice. It's nice having that option. So, and then usually after I run all my errands and I come home and I get cleaning done and I put something in the crock pot, my son is usually sitting at his desk doing his schoolwork. And then I will sit down at my laptop and I open my emails and I see what needs to be done for the day. And if while I was running my errands and doing my shopping, I was inspired by something, I'll skip that step and I'll just start writing. But 9 times out of 10, I end up doing emails, calling people, answering phone calls, editing videos now that I've started making this YouTube channel. And so usually I would say I do a lot of other things and then like throughout the day. So I don't actually start working on my writing until like noon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know why I'm much more creative at night. I'm much more creative at night and I'm much more creative between the hours of 2 and 6 a.m., which works for me because unless I am heavily sedated, I am an insomniac. And so I get up in the middle of the night and I write my books, which is convenient because when you're an independent author, you write on your schedule and you don't have to worry about anybody else's. The other reason why I like to do other creative things when I'm not writing is because typically I will be in the process of editing a video and a creative lightning rod will shoot out of the sky and suddenly I have to stop editing and I have to go back to my manuscript and I have to start writing. And that's just how it is. And that's not how it is for all writers. That's how it is for this writer. I know some writers have a very strict regimen and they have to follow a schedule and they have to do certain things a certain way. I can't be that regimented. It's unnatural for me. So, do I buy special pens and notebooks? Yes and no. I buy special pens. I have like a serious collection of pens. Every time I start a new book, I get a new package of pens. So this one is for my next book because I haven't started it yet. But as soon as I do, I will open this up. So when I finish writing The Awakening, Love Eternal, I will take all of the rough draft that I always write my rough draft in notebooks. And so I will take all of the notebooks, all of the torn out paper, all the stapled paper, everything, and I will put it into a file with all of the pens that I wrote it in, because I have a superstition about if I write one book with those pens and then I try to write the next book with those pens, the memories of the first book are going to be stuck in the ink. And so I have to put them away and then open up a fresh new pack of crazy and start on this new book. And I know that there are other authors who have superstitions like that, like they won't use the same color notebook, or they won't use the same brand of notebook, or they won't, use the same whatever. Mine are pens. So yes, so every new book that I write, I get a new set of colored pens. Also, part of my superstitious craziness is I don't write in black and blue ink. If I write in blue ink, it's teal, turquoise, any other shade than just your typical legal document black or blue ink. My books are fun, and so I want them to be fun, and so I use fun colors. And there's a picture of me on Facebook where I have my notebook in one hand, my rifle in another, and my cousin comments below, and he's like, "Is that pink ink?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course it is. Why wouldn't it be?" And that's another one of the things that I do is I carry a notebook with me when I'm hiking, when I'm hunting, when I'm fishing. It drives my husband crazy sometimes because, I'm supposed to be looking for deer or watching my fishing pole, and I've got my nose in a notebook, and he's like, "You're getting a bite! You're getting a bite!" So I do buy special pins for each book. But as far as notebooks are concerned, I don't like to spend more than $2 on a notebook, because I know that I'm going to rip it up. And sometimes what I find myself doing is I will actually rip out a page and I'll literally cut it and then I'll staple it to another page because, maybe I wrote something and then instead of rewriting it, I'll just cut it, staple it where it needs to go, and then continue on from there. And I feel guilty if I spend more than $2 on something that I'm going to rip up. And I don't buy the fancy organizers because I have tried to use fancy organizers before. And for me, what works best is the calendar in my phone, because I can put like a million things in one day and it just keeps on going. And then not only does it make my phone make noise, but then my computer's making noise at me, and every electronic that I have is making noise at me, telling me, "Hey, you have an appointment," or "You need to be doing this." So yes, I buy special pens. No, I do not buy special notebooks because I don't like wasting money. So, do I listen to music while I am writing? Yes, I do. And it, depending on what's going on in the story, is what dictates the kind of music that that I listen to. If it's a sensual scene, I like to listen to more, like drums and something with a beat, because for me, the percussion is what helps to spin those wheels. So when I'm writing like a love scene or a romantic scene, I like to listen to drums. I love Norwegian music. I've been listening to a lot of like Viking instrumental music. I love the Viking soundtrack. I've also been listening to a lot of Aurora and a couple other Scandinavian artists, or maybe she's Norwegian artist. I don't really know for sure. So it just depends on what the scene is. When I write like a fight scene, or something like that, it has to be like a very aggressive. Typically, I'll listen to music with lyrics in it, like angry lyrics or things like that. So depending on what I am writing depends on, you know, what I'm listening to. What I'm writing dictates what I listen to. So yeah. But typically, like if I'm just driving around or whatever, I don't like the radio being on. I don't know why. And as I get older, I like music that doesn't have lyrics in it. And maybe it's because I'm trying to hear my own voice in my head. I don't know. So yeah, so that answers that question. So anyway, I will put links to the artists that I've been listening to in the description below. And if you like what you've been watching, click on the link to my Patreon page and become a patron. Each level has its own unique rewards as a personal thank you from me to you. So yeah, until next time. And if you have questions or would like to follow me on social media, those links are also in the description below. And I look forward to hearing from you. Bye.